Welcome back, Mzansi. You're still watching African Farming. The expression goes, the youth are our future. Spending time with Farmboy Nkosana Mtambo was filled with activity, and it's so encouraging to see him channeling his energy into helping his peers who aspire to be farmers. But there is still something to be said for the wisdom of experience. To that end, we have some familiar faces in agriculture with us to share their expertise with young and old alike. Welcome, everyone. Joining me is Reggie Mchunu from Pannar.
Thank you so much.
Keneilwe Nailana from Standard Bank.
Thank you.
Praveen Dwarika from Lemang.
Thank you, Lindy. Good to be here again.
And we are joined remotely by Allan Sinclair from Vleissentraal.
Thank you, Lindiwe. Great to be part of the show.
All right, let's start on the grain side of the business. A seed is not just a seed, and that is one thing that I have learned earlier on in my African farming journey. There are many different cultivars. Reggie, I will direct this question to you. How and why are there different types of seeds, and how do they benefit the farmer?
Lindy, there are many characteristics that are within a seed that a farmer has to look into. One, they have to look at the prolificacy. How many crops can that particular hybrid produce? Because that is important. The more crops you have, the better yields. But also you have to look at your environmental conditions. How good can that seed withstand the environmental conditions that you have? You have to look at that particular seed. Its stability over various environments is very important. Also, how good is it when it comes to diseases and pests? Can it resist those? That's what a farmer needs, because then you reduce your cost. You want to look at its maturity. How long does it take from planting up until it reaches physiological maturity? That too you need. There are many others. How good is it when it comes to using chemicals on it? Can it withstand those? So those are things. That's the technology that is within the seed that a farmer requires and wants to know about before they can even choose that particular hybrid. So as a company, that's the technology we give to the farmers.
But how would farmers know what the right choice is?
It's important to speak to your advisor and also agribusiness that is around the area. They get informed about the various hybrids that we have, and then they can give you the right one suitable for your area.
I want to now move on to livestock. The importance of auctions in the lives of livestock farmers has often come up in this series. We now cross over to Allan Sinclair from Vleissentraal. Allan, please tell us and our viewers, why is it important to align yourself with a reputable auction house? And what are the services offered?
Thank you for the question, and thanks for having me on the show. I think when it comes to marketing the product for the producer, if it comes the number of issues we have to look at in marketing, and that is the trust issue, the knowledge issue, and the security issue. First of all, when contacting one of the reputable agents onto your farm, you know who you're inviting. You're not inviting a stranger onto your farm, and you're inviting someone with knowledge in the industry. He knows exactly what's happening with prices, he knows exactly what is happening with the market issues, and he knows actually what's going on in the country as far as agricultural products are concerned. That is his knowledge as well. As far as security is concerned, I think the reputable companies, once the deal is done, cattle are already loaded off your farm or the sheep, and the next day your money will be in the bank. And I think in today's circumstances, it's very important to know you will be receiving your money for your product. And I think that is where the difference comes in between reputable companies, as well as smaller companies that don't have the cash flow to be able to carry the amount of money as far as concerned with the amount of money farmers work with.
Thank you, Allan. The one theme that is running through all the farmers I have visited is growth. And that needs a lot of work as well as funding. Funding requirements differ from one business to another business due to the different business needs required at different stages in a business cycle. Keneilwe, let me direct this question to you. What are the sources of funding at different stages?
Lindy, to put it in context, I'll start with unpacking the business cycle stages, right? It's a startup stage, growth stage, maturity stage, and a decline stage. So on a startup stage, you find that it's still an idea on a business plan. It hasn't been implemented. So it's quite difficult, right, for the farmers at that stage to go out and find external finance. We find that most of it is self-funded because the even reports 40 to 50% of startups are self-funded. Then the next stage, which is the growth stage, you find by now the business has financial statements, and it's now establishing markets. Now it's looking for multiple streams of funding. So that's when it can consider a mix of healthy funding, which is own equity contribution, and it can go looking for external debt, and it can also use cash reserves. So if we talk about sources of funding, really, I would like to focus on the three, which is your own contribution and debt, and also cash reserves in the business.
But what advice would you have for farmers that are looking for alternative ways of funding their businesses?
I'd always say it's very important to understand your business, right, and your business needs, and make sure that you have a healthy mix. What do I mean by healthy mix? It's easy to say, I qualify for credit, and you find yourself over-consuming credit. That is not healthy, because you're going to overgear your business. So make sure that you do have own equity, you do have cash reserves, which can also say retained earnings, right, that you reinvest into your business. Then make sure that even when you go for debt, it's productive debt, right? It's the debt that you're sure that is going to grow your business, not just going to be a burden on your business.
Productive debt. Okay, I like that. All right. Now, let's move on to you, Praveen. They say that sharing is caring, and, within a community, you share the information in order to grow a community. But what is the importance of building those relationships in communities in order for the farmer to have a sustainable business practice?
It's absolutely critical, Lindy. Let's face it, farmers are not operating in a vacuum. They're operating within a business community, but they're also operating within a geographical community. And that is so important to foster important relations in those communities. Because not only are you serving that community by being a source of food and other resources, but that's also your market. You're going to sell to that community and other communities. But more importantly, the farming community. We underestimate the role of the power and the strength behind the farming community in knowledge exchange between farmers, but also safety and security. We rely often on each other to back us up in times of need. Sharing mechanization, helping each other out during peak seasons, either land preparation, harvesting season, etc. Farmers, they really have a way of getting together and assisting each other. So building and fostering community relations is critical to the success of any farming venture.
Now, how do you start forming those relationships with your communities?
Conversations. It's about the conversations. You attend your local community meetings, etc. Join community forums where possible. But it's all initiated by that conversation. Never be afraid to call on each other. Community leaders, fellow farmers, etc. They're always open to having the conversations and supporting each other.
Absolutely. Always starts with a conversation. Thank you, experts, for sharing this information with us. It really is priceless. And also thank you to Farmer Nkosana. The time spent on your farm was so invigorating and inspiring. And of course, Mzansi, thank you for sharing this journey of discovery with us. Don't forget that you can engage with us on our social media platforms via #AfricanFarming, or you can visit our website, africanfarming.com. And do remember, we farm better together.